Celebrity Every Day 26. The Rig Season 2 ending, Rose's fate and why the ancestor reveals itself explained. The end of the Rig Season 2 is far more hopeful than Season 1's, but it also introduces two major variables that can greatly affect and oppose the Kinloch Bravo crew in the Rig Season 3, were it to be announced. Less of a supernatural thriller once the remaining Kinloch Bravo crew was forced to settle on the stack, the Rig Season 2 finally managed to answer the biggest question about the ancestor. Its destructive and life-giving nature was long discussed in the Rig's inaugural season, but what the ancestor's role had always been only became clear in Season 2. The Rig Season 2 introduced one major new villain far beyond Picter's board and business interests, replacing Coke and establishing Bremner and Darien York as simple foot soldiers for the much bigger machine of power of which Morgan Lennox warned Magnus, Rose and Fulmer. The consequences of the ancestor finally revealing itself to the world also hint at uncertainty for the Kinloch Bravo crew, at least based on the ominous last scene in the Rig Season 2, Episode 6. All in all, the Rig Season 2's ending finally gave the Kinloch Bravo crew a win, but not without new problems. Magnus and Morgan's discussions about Coke's original plan led Magnus to catch Bremner at last, but even that wasn't enough to stop the delivery of the poison to the heart of the ancestor. However, even if the poison was delivered by the Picter's remote-operated vehicle, it didn't succeed in killing the ancestor, all thanks to Rose's connection to it. After Rose spent the better part of the Rig Season 2 trying to communicate with the ancestor through Fulmer, she eventually decided to take Fulmer's snide suggestion and infect herself with it. Doing so effectively connected Rose to the ancestor. Being connected to the ancestor gave her extraordinary healing powers, to the point that Rose would have died after Bremner's bullet had the ancestor's life-giving properties not saved her. However, it worked the same with the ancestor. The only reason why the ancestor had the strength to revive itself was thanks to Rose connecting to it while in the vicinity of its heart. Without Rose choosing to prioritize the ancestor over her well-being, the part of the ancestor in her could have never helped the ancestor's heart to heal itself, essentially tying Rose's survival to the ancestor's. The inaugural season of the Amazon original TV show saw the Kinloch Bravo crew trying hard to explain the nature of the ancestor, as it simultaneously participated in the killing of some members, while also saving two. Rose's vision at the beginning of the Rig Season 2, Episode 6 finally revealed the direct connection between mass extinction events and the ancestor, disproving the theory of the ancestor causing them, instead suggesting the ancestor made it possible for life to begin again on Earth after each mass extinction event, essentially saving life on Earth every step of the way. The partial good nature of the ancestor was never in doubt, as it also saved multiple characters in the Rig Season 1. However, doing even more in the Rig Season 2 and reacting to the sound shared by Askell made it even more evident that the ancestor was trying to save those of Kinloch Bravo. Rose's illuminating vision after the ancestor saved her life only confirmed what Kinloch Bravo's crew had long suspected, that the ancestor was a positive force that encouraged life instead of destroying it, thus making it the victim to protect from Picter's expansion, not the villain. Why Morgan Lennox chose to come clean about Picter. Lennox eventually chose what was best for the ancestor. Morgan Lennox's introduction to the Rig Season 2 was completely ambiguous, as she told Rose what she seemingly wanted to hear while also continuing to work with Coke at first. As Darien continued to force her hand, it was easy to see Morgan as the big villain, especially as she did as Darien suggested in the cover-up of Coke's murder. However, once it became clear that Darien had supplanted Morgan as Picter's CEO, Morgan's fealties became clear, and she was also revealed as someone willing to protect the ancestor. Morgan effectively joining Kinloch Bravo's crew on the stack not only let her officially become part of them, but it also introduced their biggest foe, whom they'll have to fight if the Rig Season 3 is announced. Indeed, the powerful entity behind the decisions of Picter was greatly inconvenienced by Rose's reveal of the ancestor, making it possible for them to want to have their revenge against the crew of Kinloch Bravo. Celebrity Every Day 26.